and we are live.
Awesome. All right, you all. This is session actually number one for Ukuwa Stations Go at No Room for a Wallflower. Where we last left off, you all were introduced to Nosimbo and spoken to by the Nkulu and Shaka. This is the preamble to your mission on Harcinia. You all are members of the Horns faction, and the left horn specifically. Nosimbo is a member of the right horn, and she is your captain, and will be piloting the ship that you'll be traveling to Hycenia on, called the Naya Kamubi. Naya Kamubi. There we go. So yeah, where we last left off, you all had just completed a sim, one of Nosimbo's very accurate retellings of a past mission she was involved on. Uh, you all
So accurate.
performed, yeah, so accurate. You all performed excellently. You took care of the mission, and you were able to extract the VIPs. After which, Nosimbo invited you all for drinks within the kind of simulation, kind of drinking hall of this. We'll call it an Akanda portion on Nkulu and Kulu, and so that's where we will pick up as you all have been at the bar for a while, entertaining Nosimbo and her recollections of the battle. But also, as you look at her, you notice that she has something she's waiting to divulge to you all and is interested foremost in what you thought of the simulation, and secondly, what are your impressions of the upcoming deployment to Arsinia. And so she will say, Pilots, Donfall, Scalpel, Akibu, and Kaiser, you did well on the simulation. Tell me, what were your thoughts? Did you learn anything from your collaboration?
Well, in general, I learned that I'm better with a sniper than I give myself credit, and I think I'll be sticking that way. It seemed like the range support was a useful idea.
I would
And
agree.
Kaiser can take a beating.
Kaiser, yes. It's my personal belief that every team needs a vanguard, and while the role is more suited for members of the chest order, I believe the left horn can find use in your tactics.
Well, I think that I think that considering that I kind of went off on my own, I did fairly well.
Yes, I would agree, and I have not seen the Sagamatha tested in battle nor sim before, and so your piloting abilities will do you well in the future, I am sure.
That is why I am here.
And she downs a drink, orders another one, and passes one to Greer and Key. And she says, "And for you two, what were your impressions of not only the mission but also your teamwork?"
Gear will grab the cup and nod graciously. I learned interesting things about my commanding officer.
Well, let's keep that between us. You know, there's a bit of banter around here on the right horn, and I would like to keep my stature secured as it is.
I would advise doing that with your actions then. She's going to sip.
Noted.
Q kind of drags his own drink over with one finger and puts it next to the other drink that was ordered for him that he hasn't got.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, I can say this much. I think I much rather prefer uh, looking over the situation and having time to think about it. Um, I'm just glad that uh, no one else on our team minded me calling shots, as it were.
She looks at the rest of the team.
Your insight was helpful. It's comforting to know that somebody has an eye for the tactics. Because I sure as hell don't.
So Nasimbo nods and says, "Yes, well, I know this is likely the first time you all have partnered together on a mission before, and I will stand to say and let this be known to Shaka itself, but I feel confident in your abilities to perform on Hysenia. You see, we are charged with representing Fakane, but also answering our allies' call, Union's call. The planet of Hysenia, it is a potentially troublesome planet. There are echoes that echo across the Maluti line that Union's past iterations have caused disturbances there. Also, there may be something else there in wait for us. I cannot tell for myself, I have never been, but I do feel you all are equipped to deal with the situation as accordingly, and will uphold Infakani's stature and the Orion arm.
I'm glad for the vote of confidence.
It is well earned.
We should be able
Well,
to handle it.
I do believe you will be. So, that leads into my second question. What do you all know of your deployment to Hysenia?
A great scarcity of information on it.
I know a bit
Yes.
about Harsinia from some friends online, but that's about it.
Please, tell me, Kanya, what does the Omninet whisper about Hysenia? There have been misleading reports I have heard, even from Shaka itself.
Depends who you ask. Depending on the forums, you'll get anything from the reports of the TBK were completely accurate and that the entire planet is barely there. Ask someone else, and it's a thriving paradise that'll kill you at every turn. And there's another one that thinks it's filled with, like, I don't know, failed SSC mutants. It's a shit show and barely reliable.
I have heard that one before as well, but I think it's reasonable to say that all may be true. It could be a broken world filled with mutants abound, but it also could be a thriving, beautiful planet. My ask for you all, and Union's ask, and by association, the Nkulu and Shaka's ask, is that we treat this situation with the brevity and gravity it deserves.
Long,
followed.
awkward sip.
She also reciprocates that long, awkward sip. And then she finishes up with, "So, we have been called specifically by the Landmark Colonial Corporation. I believe they are a subsidiary of the Smith-Shimano Corporation. Doesn't actually matter. All that matters is that we are sent here at Union's behest. We will do this job. We will uphold this landmark colonial's mission, and we ensure that the deed is done on Hysenia. And to do this deed, Shaka and the Nkulu, and as well the Mthitho, have given me authorization to grant you all instruments to complete this mission. You all have access to Mfakane's first line of systems and weapons from our mecha library. Please choose them at your will. If you would like clarification on any of these armaments, I'd be happy to elaborate on them."
Sort of, like, kind of excitedly takes off the massive kind of like a more futuristic version of a World War II radio unit just off of his back, sort of unslings the Omni Hood link, just starts booting it up, and just puts up a display of essentially any information he has on the latest Infocane licenses and just puts it up in front of everybody and puts it on display.
Uh, Q is going to just look at Nosimbo and quietly ask, uh, "Are the flak cannons rockets available?"
No, they are not. I'm not actually familiar with the flak rockets. They may have been an earlier iteration. Do you, by chance, mean the chaff rockets from the Chetzwayo?
Ah, yes. I apologize. I do not keep up with the R&D as much as I'd like to.
It is all right. You are but a young springling, waiting to bud, and I will aid you and nourish this budding process. Yes, the Chetzwayo and the chaff rockets are available to you.
Ah,
So
thank you.
you all see the line of Infocani mechs. The Abutho is a striker. The first two options available to it is the Ngoma, which is a tech attack that aids melee attacking. Also, the reinforced subdermal plating that preserves the pilot's ability to stay alive in most critical encounters. Also, the Amadalozi, which is Infocane's creator and its architect. It has two systems that are available to you all, and I'm going straight from memory, so let's see if I get it right. It has a system that allows you to create difficult terrain, the terraforming engines, and another system that essentially protects your allies and blows up bad guys if they're close to it. It's called Nkulu's Grasp. The next one is the Chetzwayo. It has chaff rockets, and it has a tech attack that controls the battlefield and ensures your foes either don't hurt you or suffer severe repercussions for trying to attack you. And the last and most recent Nefakane mech is the Groot Slag. It has two systems that lets you deploy your armor as cover, and the other one is lets you reposition yourself, ramming and running over anything in your path. So yeah, you guys have that to decide on. You can decide to include them whenever you want to, just before the next deployment. As you all will once you guys are kind of deployed and make your way, you're landing on Hyrcenia. Feel free to switch those around as you will. Once your mechs are printed on Hyrcenia, you'll not be traveling with your mechs. You will get them on site.
Okay. So should we, in terms of like the license, are we just editing our licenses and adding it, or just doing a basic level license level up?
Yep, just editing your license. It's like it's offered as exotic gear essentially.
Okay,
Awesome.
cool.
Yep. So you can add that on ComCon through reserves, through like a license point or something like that, or you can just do it through Foundry and just drag over what you need.
Oh yeah, I saw the reserves thing. I have not played with this yet. I'm excited.
Nice.
Yeah, it is probably a little bit easier to do it over ComCom license point.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Nasimbo will finish up and say,
I hope you all choose wisely. If it were my decision, I actually favor the Grootslag's ability to protect its allies and command the battlefield. The Abuto is more something for the chest order. Doesn't quite fit my liking, nor does the Chetzwayo or the Amadalozi. Those are other instruments I do not prefer. I find that one is only as strong as their team, and to bolster the team is to bolster oneself.
This is one situation in which we agree, Simbo. The Groot Slang does have rather useful technology.
Q says, Q kind of smiles, and he says, "You forget Nosimbo. Everyone in the pack has a role to play during the hunt." And
That
with
is
that,
true.
he smiles and he just shotguns his 2 drinks. Bang, bang.
Plan them down.
nice. So as you guys deliberate on which system you want, Nasimbo will start to kind of get up, and she'll finish off by saying,
And as you would expect, you all, I will be your captain upon the Nayakamubi. I will ensure that Infokane and you all are seen in a good light But should you stray away from Shaka's guidance or the Nkulu's guidance and the Mpito's law, I will not hesitate in severing my connection with you all. You are well equipped of the left horn, and I trust in your ability to carry out the mission with or without me.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that.
I hope it does not as well. I have grown fond of you in these few moments we've had together.
Yes, I do have that effect on people.
Nasimbo chuckles a bit, sets down her drink, and she starts to walk away. And as she walks away, she looks back and says to you all, well, she gives you a standard Infakane salute, which is like a underhanded stabbing motion with an imaginary Ukuwa. And she says, I will see you all in a week's time. Report to the deployment area. We will board the Nayakamubi, and we will set off for Icinia. Say goodbye to those you love, and praise Shaka. And
Praise
she leaves.
Shaka.
Praise Shaka.
Yes, very Shaka.
Of course.
All right, so you guys have a week to pretty much just get into whatever shit you want to get into. We'll do like we can do like it's kind of like downtown reserves, but not really. If you make some like really compelling argument in character about like what reserves you may be bringing, we'll see what we can do there. But otherwise, yeah, you have about a week's time to frolic around in Kulu.
Oh, boy,
Frolicking.
I'm not even sure
I
what
love
to
frolicking.
Take as reserve.
Hmm.
It's always difficult. Actually, I do have an idea. Can you take the smart ammo as a reserve?
We will see. It really depends. You can try. Yeah, you can try.
It's like entirely dependent on if I even roll it, but I'm pretty sure it's like specific to one mount, right?
Smart
No,
ammo.
it's all weapons.
Yeah, all weapons. all
Yeah,
weapons.
it's limited use is the only issue. You
Uh,
get like
it's-
one use of it.
Yeah,
General.
One use of it. Okay.
Generally, yeah.
like once per encounter.
Hmm,
Like, is
okay,
that
okay.
what you meant? Because it is once you activate it for the encounter, then it just
Oh, I see. You can use it for one encounter.
Yeah.
Got
Okay.
you.
If anything,
But yeah,
Kanye's he's probably like rarely been to the capital, like maybe like for a few minutes, but before her deployment elsewhere, so he's looking at all the shinies.
nice.
He's going touristing.
I
Yeah,
go
kind of.
visit. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, please.
So yeah, Kanye, some of the things that you'll probably see that are different than the rest of the Kanye space is that Nkulu is the most well-developed Infakane world, but it's also the most condensed and sparsely populated, right? Like the whole planet was built from essentially just a dead rock. And they have put a lot of thought and a lot of time into how the planet develops. The entire planet is planned, like a planned development, like Savannah in Georgia or like any kind of European town. The whole planet is planned, and so it's pretty easy to get around where you want to get around to. There's a lot of public transit around the city. The Akandas, which is essentially a district in the city, ultimately dedicated to the MP War Order, is much bigger and much more robust than many of you've probably been to. But probably one of the most iconic features on Nkulu, other than the symbology of the two horns that I described in the first session, is the Izukumbu Halls, and these are the Halls of Rememory. They are managed by a contingent, not contingent, more like a sect of Infakane diaspora that are called the Sagnomas, and they are literally the keepers of Kuala and Ukuzalawa, which are the truth and the lie. It's essentially Infakane history, but it's both recorded as a truth and a lie, and there's no distinction between the two on which one's more important. And the Halls of Rememory are just a bunch of audio records of stories and verbal retellings of battles and and political maneuvers and other kind of historical events. A lot of them are lies, but like I said, like they don't make the distinction. And the halls of memory here, the Izukumbu halls, are the most pristine and well kept across in the Kani space.
Cool.
Gear over the week would probably go about looking for essentially useful supplies, particularly medical supplies, especially regarding potential sicknesses that might be on her senior.
Nice, nice. And what about you, Legion? And Key and Key.
You can go for it. Go ahead.
So I think Kaiser wants to essentially schmooze about, see if they could get some let's see. Could pull some strings to make their first initial encounter better. Put out some propaganda and like set up essentially like bots to set up propaganda so that the first time they see us on the planet, they'll be like, "Oh, it's those guys. We've heard about them."
Oh, so you wanna make you wanna send out some propaganda across space?
Yeah, to Virginia, to just in general of our specific team.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think that sounds like a trigger check. I'm going to say, given the distance and the isolated nature of Hysenia, that's going to be pretty difficult. So I'm going to add 2 difficulty to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the way he's gonna do it is he's gonna hacker fix using bots, essentially, or not bots, comcons.
Okay, that works.
Okay, so 2 difficulty.
A 5. Yeah, you immediately know that your message is intercepted by one of the iterations and one of the iterations of Shaka. And as I mentioned, Shaka is a pervasive NHP and the only NHP of the kind I use. And you get a error message saying you're one of the Horns Order, and your mission is subterfuge. You're my long shadow. Let's keep it that way.
Fine, I will. What happens time? It's hard to be out of the spotlight.
Local Kaiser told off by the teacher.
Kaiser no texting in class.
Key, what about you?
Key is gonna actually visit an old friend, an old Umteto that he happens to know.
Nice.
And he is going to try to convince her to help him kind of recalibrate his aiming systems, basically.
Nice.
And upon visiting her, he's like, Rosie, I am not as talented as you when it comes to making adjustments. And Walsey says, well, of course not, basically. And he's more or less trying to convince her to help him fix it, to try to more or less put accuracy on his launcher attack actions.
Got you. So skirmishes, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Cool. So Walsey is going to embrace you. Wish you the best of luck on your mission. Being a member of the Amthitho, Walsey will have special regard and wise words for you to maintain the laws of union as you embark on this journey, and don't fall victim to Shaka's, for better or worse, of lack of a better word, bloodlust. Yeah, they're just I got some words for you, and sure, they'll definitely help you. We'll just see how successful that is. So just give me a standard roll.
Do you want a flat roll, or do you want a trigger?
What trigger do you have that's relevant?
I would say either invent or create. I could be argued that I'm like basically making better iron sights.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
You've
We'll
invented
see
the
how this
ACOG
goes.
scope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep a mech level scope in my backpack.
Smart scope. There we go.
Nice. Yeah. Through you and Walsey's collaboration and long friendship, you all able to put together a nice Infocani flavored montage with some Infocani flavored 80s music. And yeah, you're able to put together this instrument that you will use on your upcoming deployment. And again, Owalzi will remind you of why you are going to Arsenia.
As I nod and on my way out, I kind of turn back and say, "And OLZ, you are one to talk. Your bloodlust is worse than mine." And I leave.
She smirks. All right, and then it looks like we have Gear and still Kanya.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gear.
So Gear is essentially just being very proactive about procuring gear. Oh, fuck. Accidental pun. Procuring stuff that will actually be useful on Hercinia from what they know, which isn't a great deal. So, considering it's an alien place that hasn't really been colonized effectively, from their knowledge, they're looking for more like infectious diseases counters and such, so that if anyone like steps on a terrible mushroom, they don't die.
Nice. Yeah, I would say that you probably make your way to one of the Akandas on Nkulu. This Akanda is staffed by members of the Loins Order, and this is more their type of expertise. While they are members of the MP Order and by association are combatants, they are involved in more of the kind of reinforcements type.
The logistics guys.
Yep, logistics, exactly. You approach there, doing your business and kind of researching and trying to find out as much as you can about Icenia and some of the fauna and flora there, and trying to prepare for the upcoming battle. And you are approached by one of these Loins members, and they recognize you from the introduction with Shaka and the Nkulu, and they say, "You're one of the left horn that are going to Icenia, correct?"
Yes.
They kind of like swallow their spit a bit, and you see a gulp down their esophagus. They say, I hear there are mutants there, SSC mutants. I would be careful. I would not to be infected by whatever they have. I hear that they have 6 arms and 8 eyes. You know,
Wow.
SSC, they can be quite crafty in their genetic experiments.
That's rather grisly, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to get some supplies so that we don't die to any horrible diseases.
So who knows what you may find? I mean,
well, I'm hoping you do know, because you are, part of the Loins Order, so I'm hoping you know what you have in stock.
I could possibly find you something, but I can't be sure. I've never visited Icenia before. My recommendation to you is, though, kill it before it kills you. And if it can't be killed, run.
I'm hoping that you have correctives and other useful medical supplies, though.
Yes, I would be willing to share some with you. Just keep it under wraps. Don't tell Shaka or any of the other Loins members.
Yes, of course.
I know how Shaka can be with his horns.
I promise my utmost discretion.
Well, have at yourself. There's many supplies here. And best of luck on your mission. Watch out for those mutants.
Yes.
So yeah, you don't have to worry about rolling. You have a clean access to, we'll say, an extra piece of pilot gear that you can bring.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So Thank you.
No problem. And Kanya.
Yeah, no, he's gonna reach out on the OmniNet, essentially try and do like, I guess social reconnaissance. Like essentially do the OmniNet version of Facebook stalking, like known individuals with connections to uh, Helsinia and just different, like socio-political parties, just people of note. He's collecting data.
Got you. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah. I would say, let's see. Give me a roll and
Word on the street.
yeah, word on the street sounds good. And how are you going about doing this? You're just using the OmniNet?
Yeah, just reaching out to friends online, going to some forums that he probably shouldn't be on.
Alrighty. Yeah, just go ahead and make it a flat roll.
Okay.
Shaka's gonna be upset when he sees your browsing history.
Yeah.
Shaka was upset when he saw my browsing history in boot camp. Okay. Okay. So flat roll or word on the street?
With word, yeah, with word on the street, yeah.
Okay. That one.
If you go to the third bar, you can just click word of the street.
Nice. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I've got my my
Okay, cool beans.
character sheet popped out.
Nice. So yeah, you pick up on a few, let's say two rumors of two folk that the MP War Order and Thetho may have encountered in their escapades throughout Infocane space. One of these people are called, just colloquially called Specs. They're said to have been quite adept at working with automated defenses and drones and all types of like smart CompCon type defense units. It's a little rough to ascertain whether or not like where they are met across Infocane space, but they know that their last known location was on Hyrsenia, and they're noted to be quite talented with their profession. And there's probably some subtext here that says they might be a good ally should any of the War Order make their way there. Another person you're familiar with is a private Novum. That's Novem. They were a former member of a mercenary company that the War Order encountered on a fledgling planet within the purview of Infocane space. They were probably a captive. That's at least that's what you can kind of ascertain from these records. And they were noted to be quite honorable and quite well equipped to defend themselves. And at some point, they were released back to their own endeavors. And but their last location also was on Hyrsenia.
Okay. I don't suppose I'd be able to get tracking on either of these people or either of these groups. Sorry.
You know names, and
Names.
I think
Okay. That works for me.
Yeah, that'll be good enough to ask around. I think the galaxy's wide and expansive, and if you got a name, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Cool. Well, with that, are you guys doing anything else during your week before deployment?
I assume Scalpel is the medic or de facto medic.
Yes. Scalpel is a trained EMT.
Nice.
Okay. I think Kaiser would like to meet up with Scalpel private.
You'd probably find them either at a bar or looking for medical supplies.
Yeah, I think Kaiser's also going to be there and going to show up, look over Scalpel's shoulder. So, what exactly are you looking for?
As many correctives, patches, stems, etc. that I can grab, because we don't know what kind of horrible airborne diseases there might be, so it's best to be prepared.
Would it happen to be a surgical type? Maybe learn something new?
Well, I can do surgery. However, what I'm looking for at the moment don't really help with that. You needing medical help?
Or
The
like,
only thing I can't do is psychological things because I don't really understand how people get so upset.
well, I myself have a personal cache of very specific medical supplies I could lend you if you just help me hold some tools.
Of course, that should be
Oh.
fine, assuming it's not anything obscene.
No. Well, no. Anyways, just meet me at my quarters at this time.
Right, I'll see you then. They're looking at it with you sense a lot of suspicion, but they seem like they're going to show up at least.
SSC. Don't ever trust them.
Don't ever trust them, especially because they have these mutants.
Bloody SSC.
Everyone's talking about SSC mutants and Kaiser's just standing there, be like,
I'm an SSC mutant.
Yeah.
Smart.
every time we said SSC mutant, I just think to myself, looking at Kaiser.
An awkward sideways glance.
Nice.
Yeah. So
right.
in the evening, Gear would rock up,
yeah.
knock on the door and such.
I think what you see is like a fold-up table, and Kaiser's in one of those like hospital gowns, and
Oh god.
he hands you medical records, specifically some scans, and it looks like what weird SSC shenanigans. Like you notice that the scan has like 2 hearts, several redundancy organs, and like organs that you don't even know what they could do.
So you're basically a 40k Space Marine in terms of
Yeah,
your
it was
guts.
I was about to say,
God.
I'm surprised you're not rocking a Caliban right now.
Oh yeah, I wish. And he says, "Well, if you haven't guessed yet, those are mine. And yes, they're quite extensive. I like to keep them under wraps, if you don't mind."
Of course.
No.
So what exactly do you need done at the moment? Are
He
one of
takes
these
out-
malfunctioning?
Not so much malfunction as I'd like to get something added. And he takes out like a kind of like a medical chest box, an ice box, and inside there are like 3 organs that
Oh god.
they don't even look human, or to say.
Right.
And he says, "Well, since we're outside of Union space, and well, I like to take it upon myself to try some of the more experimental things that I've grabbed from the SSC. Something that they want me to report on discreetly, of course."
Well, I suppose I can help you out. You SSC people are a little bit strange, but usually it's not going to result in my death. So what are these organs?
I only know the function of one of them.
Right.
Well, this one, and he pulls up, he points at the chart, and this one goes in like near the lungs, and he just says, "That one lets me control my heart rate and essentially filters out poison in case that any animals here could poison me."
Sounds useful, especially considering we're going to a place we don't know anything about.
Yes, it's experimental to say the least, so we'll see how well this works. I'm told it's compatible with my physiology.
Well, let's hope so. I'm obviously not a trained SSC experimental stuff person, but I can insert and hook it up just fine.
Oh, like I said, you're only here to hold tools. It may be conversation. And Kaiser's gonna lean back on the table, take a swig of something from a medical vial, close his eyes, and he slowly makes an incision on his chest. Yes, hold this mirror, and I guess that too. We'll need it for later.
Gia's gonna pull out the corrective they've got on them at all times and just pop it on the table, just in case you slip. And I'll do all the tasks they need to.
See, that's why I need you here. You're thinking for me. And also, it's less suspicious if you get medical supplies than I do. And yeah, he's just gonna talk about random things like, this organ right here, this one lets me survive better in cold weather. This one right here filters out vitamin A from animals that could kill you if you eat its liver. And he just goes on for like the hours it would take to do a procedure like this.
God.
Oh my god.
Alright. Gia is mostly just fascinatedly listening and keeping notes in their own head to like know more about your medical needs in case something happens.
Black market surgery in session 1. What a fun day.
Nice. So yeah, you guys. Well, are you guys done?
Infakane, appreciating culture, visiting friends, non-Infakanes, black market surgery.
Yeah, that is now canon.
Yeah. You wanted an in-character reason why my character would become a super soldier?
I like it. I like it.
Nice.
So yeah, you guys, well, you two rather embark on this little medical excursion that you have, and the rest of you continue the activities you were doing for the remainder of this week. When we fast forward, and the day is upon you, where you were supposed to meet Nosimbo at the one of Nkulu's uplift stations. And as you approach, you see the Naya Kamubi, the ship you will be on. And this is what it looks like. Hold on, let me see if I can do this real quick. Show player, show to all. Can you guys see that?
Yes, the Nyakomubi.
Naya Kamubi. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Nyakomubi. Okay, thank you.
It is a quite large, non-traditional Infakani vessel that has an approximate crew of about 500 folks. It has enough space to house a number of, well, at least six size 3 mechs, and that's a number of size 1 mechs, and you can kind of do the math there. There's also a printer on board, but there's a skeleton crew that is led by some Compcons, but more specifically, Nosimbo and you all. There's a backup reserve of Impy, as I mentioned, on this ship, and some other staff. But as far as managing the ship, it will be you 5 on this lonely large vessel as you leave Nkulu. And you all see this ship being loaded up as you approach this massive uplift station. Some other Impy of the Horns Order are being loaded up in cryo chambers for the long journey to Hycernia. And amidst the chaos, you see Nosimbo kind of instructing all the supplies to be loaded on the ship and kind of chanting out and yelling out to everyone around. Around Nosimbo, you see a number of other Impy that are performing their ngoma, or their retelling of victories yet won through dance and through song. So this is a momentous occasion for you all, and more specifically for Nosimbo. As you all gear, Nosimbo calls out to you all and says, "There you are! Finally, the day is upon us. How was your time on Nkulu? I hope you made worth of it. You will not see this place again for some time."
Gulp.
Yes, it was perfectly pleasant.
She looks at you, Kaiser, and doesn't exactly recognize you. Is a little curious why you're so buff now. And she says, Joseph, is is that is that Kaiser? Is that you?
Oh, yes. This is what I actually look like underneath my stealth suit, so it, I hide it pretty well, I would say, considering my past in the ISSC.
Well, whatever helps you ensure the mission. It looks good on you.
Thank you. As always, the SSC breaks its finest, even though I do prefer shock. But
I hear you. Keep it under wraps, though. You don't want Shaka hearing. He's a bit narcissistic and paranoid, but I didn't say that. Well, anyways, you all are ready. The ship, the Nayakamubi, is almost loaded. We all shall board and make our way for Icenia. Let us go.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as Nasimbo motions us forward, Q is gonna take out his rusty Ukuwa, which would otherwise be a blight, but he takes out a small, what kind of looks like a small ceremonial shield,
Mhm.
and he bangs the Ikuwa upon the shield, and it lets out a kind of high pitched screeching noise. The
Mhm.
Ikuwa itself, and all of the rust falls off.
Ooh.
That's
This catches Nosimbo's eye as she almost turns around and looks back at you and says, "You see, that is why the Horns Order is much better than every other order. We have character, we have pizzazz. Keep that enthusiasm, Kui.
Nothing is anything without style.
I hear
In
you."
direct contrast, Gear is just trying to cart up a ginormous box of medical supplies.
Kanya is doing the thing where he's looking at his own, looking at yours, looking at his own, and just like, how the fuck?
Well, kind of get like a full Nicola. That was pretty dope, though.
Yeah, it's
That's
just like, how do I make it ring and remove all? I need to steal it. I need to steal it, and I need to look inside of it. That's all it is.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so Gear, you're loading some of your medical supplies up on the Nayakamubi. Um, this ship is not like any you've probably seen. It's just a very non-traditional Infakane ship, but it will nonetheless get you to where you need to go. It will not be at you all's disposal in your deployment on Harcinia. It will be parked outside of the system on one of the distal planetary bodies. From the Nayakamubi, you guys will be launched on Hycenia. Should you all need it, and should Nosimo still be able to call it, you can call it. But that's only for very extreme, desperate situations.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Well, you all load up on the Nayakamubi. You see all the other MP being loaded up into cold storage. There's a number of subalterns moseying about, all controlled by a facet of an HP Shaka. Nosimba will ask you all to join her in the, not the hold, but where the bridge, the bridge, where kind of behind the face of the ship that you see in the image there. And she says to you all right before you make your journey, she says, Sawubona, brothers and sisters and all else. Today we do what few in Fakani have done before. Today we honor our esteem. Today we claim a victory yet won. But more importantly, we show Union the strength of its allies by the name of Fakani. Steel your hearts, sharpen your instincts. And as members of the Horns, we are Shadow's Long Shaka and his Seers of Evil. Oh, we lose. Oh, there you go, Queen. We are Shaka's Long Shadow and Seers of Evil.
and we will ensure our shade shelters those in need, no matter how far, no matter how different they be. May our echoes guide us, and may our memories remind us of the lessons we know in battle, in love and in compassion. For the days ahead of us will test all three. I, No Simba, will gladly guide you on this journey. May we all return home to Nkulu Nkulu with stories that Sagnomas will tell for centuries to come. Praise Shaka.
Praise Shaka.
With that,
Praise
we will, unless you guys want to do anything else, we will cut away as you all will prepare for the long journey. It's probably gonna take about a month to Hysenia, and that's where we will pick it up in a moment.
All right.
Good.
Yep.
Alrighty, let's take a
Final
Go ahead.
frontier.
let's take a quick break and be back in, let's see, let's say close to 10 minutes, so like 8 or 9 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah,
Alright.
yeah. Cool.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. All right,
What do I?
be right back.
Good.
Damn, now I have to make a
Otherwise-
transition screen for breaks. Fuck.
Intermission.
One thing you didn't plan.
The
Well,
the one thing I really honestly should have thought of, but no. Yeah.
this is the
Doesn't
transmission.
Isn't Kaya's Ukuwa like a lightsaber? Or is it
No,
just that
it's just a
collapsible?
No, dude, it's just a collapsible blade.
Okay.
Think it's like a really fancy, you know those the videos went around for a bit, the Quran
bow
bit that like
staffs?
well no, like the Quran bit that like folds into its handle and you like press the
Okay.
thumb forward
Yeah.
and the blade shoots
Or-
out. It's like that.
The
Yeah,
Quran,
yeah.
but
It's tactical.
That's you in your own hand.
I knew when I introduced the idea of having a rusty Ukuwa, I was gonna be like, why is your Ukuwa rusty? But like I had this plan. This was
Yeah.
Freaking vibranium shit. This is awesome.
yeah.
That's cool. I really dig it.
My Ukuwa sings.
That's awesome.
Really hitting those high notes.
The
But yeah,
shield I
so-
have is also straight up an item.
Oh, okay.
Because we're still talking over you. The shield
No,
is
no,
the shield is actually a drone.
Well, there you go.
Excellent.
I enjoy reskinning items. What's the point
It's cool,
otherwise?
Yeah, I gave my like my armor and weapons like individual fluff text and different names and stuff because it's fun. It's fun to
It's
fuck
very
around.
fun.
So Kaiser, your guy is basically turning into a space marine. Like
Yeah.
with the whole,
I'm
literally
so
all
excited.
the organs are just space marine organs now.
Yeah, it's less so like the traditional muscle, like military super soldier, and more so he's a genetic Batman. Like any situation, he has an organ for it.
God, that's ridiculous, and I love it.
Uh,
Scalpel's gonna be looking into your medical records extensively.
Oh god, an organ
Kaiser.
for every situation. Oh my god.
Kaiser at 3 a.m. He's like, gets a text from Scalpel, be like, "What's this organ do?" It's like, "Have you heard of a Schweitzer organ?"
What?
It's kind of like that.
Go gadget, no more nausea organ.
Burger gadget, I stubbed my toe. I have a replacement toe.
Please tell me. Please
Yeah.
tell me you have an anti-interrogation organ that is literally just releases serotonin. It's just,
Oh.
You're
just
now
raw good feelings, so you can't be like tortured.
That's like the BDSM organ. That's
Oh
off
my
the record.
God. Oh no.
I for some reason I don't know why, but my brain, when you were saying organ jet that just releases, my brain autofilled that in with bees.
Yes, you're actually just a fucking. You're a slicer. You're a freaking slicer from BioShock.
God.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
Go gadget bee.
Oh,
God.
no, not the bees. Not the bees.
Not the bees. Not the bees.
What's even scarier? just releases bees from the organ and then looks to Shaka with menacing intent. I took the scent of mine talent.
Oh
I am
no.
I am a Baylor now.
Oh.
The first accord prevents technological uploading your mind. It doesn't prevent you from uploading your mind to a swarm of bees.
Session 3, Kaiser just becomes a spacesuit filled with bees.
God.
And like that, we've become a Doctor Who episode. Woo!
That's okay. If it's a Doctor Who episode, my character will get hurt and then never be seen again after like being a companion for 3 episodes.
It's a Doctor Who episode directed by Moffat, but it's also a Doctor Who episode where Moffat is over the entire season.
Yep.
Yeah, gotta have those bittersweet endings. Like literally all of them.
Gotta have no real plans for the end. Where do we go from B? Where do we go from Kaiser B? B Kaiser?
I like B Kaiser.
B Kaiser.
Ave,
but-
be
but
de
the
Kaiser.
You're not you when you're hungry.
Han's
Yeah.
whole
Kaiser.
cartoon, like Winnie the Pooh wasp nest.
I'm gonna see how far I can push this with shotgun. Be like,
How far before he goes? Yeah, no, we pushed too far past the body horror limit. We're gonna need to dial it back just a little bit.
Oh, I love body horror.
oh, I got to run something by shotgun. I want to see if I could replace my signature weapon with a like,
On a bone blade or something.
yeah,
Wait,
or like a
type
bone
shit.
launcher or acid spit.
God.
I mean, like you can always skin it as such, can't you?
Was it?
You can always skin it as such, can't you? Because like for instance, I have like a medium AC weapon, and it's just my Ukuwa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is, I don't know if Shaka ever plans to take away our weapons
Oh,
in
I
this.
see.
Yeah.
Takes
That'd
away
be
your
weird.
wrists.
Make it a sidearm. Make it a small signature.
Okay. So. Oh god, this is gonna be. How many of you remember the fucking X-Men Last Stand movie?
Ugh.
I watched it 5 times.
I don't.
Oh
Do
dear.
I
you
don't know
remember the
why.
guy who grew the bone spikes out of his wrists and just started throwing them at Wolverine?
Yeah, he's based off of Spike, and I feel like they did him. He's based off of Spike from the '90s X-Men animated series, and I don't like how they did him.
I never
Did him
saw the
badly in that
'90s.
movie.
I never
So
saw the '90s
Spike
one.
Spike in the '90s X-Men animated series is based off of Marrow from the comics. It's more or less the same power. It's just that one kid from Naruto who grows bones out of their body really fast.
Right.
But yeah, it's a cool character. They did him dirty in that movie.
They did a lot of things dirty in that movie.
Honestly, that movie's just dirty. The movie itself is filthy.
Beautifully done. But sorry, we keep talking over you, Jeff.
Nah, that's cool.
It's
The
not,
ongoing
though.
meme is going to be by like session 15. It's just talking over care
Everyone talks over
and
the
then
phone.
apologizing. Immediately. I'm sorry.
Anyways,
Oh, fuck. Actually,
I'm excited to see where we go because I purposely did not explore any of the content with Wallflower
Yeah,
since
same.
like
same.
it first came out.
I have a
But
couple of spoilers that I know, just because that's how the internet be in this bitch of a world. But for the most part, I'm pretty blind to it.
Yeah, I know that
I
Eidolons
don't-
exist, and that's about the beginning and the end. Well, beyond the licenses, I've looked over the licenses a million times, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Licenses don't
I
count.
don't know. I don't know how much of it is accurate, but
It is it.
the only
I actually GM Wallflower for Shaka, and you could say that he is definitely making it his own because I'm running it by the book in the game that Shaka's in.
cool beans.
All right, I'm back. I'm back.
Hi back.
All righty. Are you guys ready?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I think everyone's
I'm
in.
Oh.
stepping next.
All right. So we will pick up as you all enter the system for which Hycenia is located. It's a smaller system with a couple planets in the in its ring, maybe 5 or so. You're maybe able to pick up that some of these planets have been ravaged by either war or some other type of installations, as the whole system, from what you gather from some of the Naika movies readings, that it isn't as desolate as implied. There's a large, not large, but more, I guess, significance, a better word. There's significant, we'll call it echo that's emanating from your destination, Hyrsenia. It's an echo that is probably residual energies or just radioactive um, um, energies that just kind of ripple from the planet, and your ship is picking it up. As you all awake or just kind of come to from whatever you're doing on the Nai Kamubi since, Nosimbo says, "We are here. Let us depart." And she will escort you all to your drop pods. An Infocane characteristic drop pods are just like seeds, essentially, that are able to kind of you're able to put yourself in, and they are launched halfway across the system to the Emerald Jewel of Hycenia. One of the things that you're able to notice before you launch is that the planet is in a monsoon season and is forever clouded in a kind of a dense fog and in a kind of a light drizzle. This is probably because of some of these residual energies and radioactive tampering that has occurred or is either just natural here. Whatever it is, you know what you're getting yourself into. Nasimbo loads up first in her drop pods, and I'm assuming you all will follow suit.
Of course.
Hop in a dandelion.
All righty. You all will follow suit as the Nayakamubi is, as mentioned, will be parked in the distal end of this system, and you all suit up, log in, or get inside these pods, and are launched across the system at alarming speeds directly towards the planet. The journey doesn't take long, maybe a few hours, essentially, as you don't get much kind of interference from entering the planet's system or entering the planet's atmosphere, rather. Shortly after, you there's maybe a bit of rumbling as you break the atmosphere, and you land somewhere outside of the colony called Evergreen. As the drop pods land, they sink into the deep mud, somewhere kind of, if you can kind of see on the map here, close to this kind of wreckaged ship, essentially. And the pods pop open, and you all are in this dense mud and tall grass. And before you is the colony of Evergreen. As you all get out, you do see a bit of rumbling and rustling in the tall grass, almost as if a tiger or some type of animal is making their way through the grass, stalking you. It seems to be a long line of this rustling through the grass. It's approaching you. What are you guys doing?
Can I
Gears.
try to spot it?
So what?
Abik said he wanted to spot it. I was saying that Gear is pulling that pistol ready in case it's a aggressive thing.
Oh, well, you all prepare
as the well, Gear, do you wanna roll me a check, or what do you want to do?
Oh no, they're just getting ready in case it does like attack.
Can I
It's-
can I roll a spot check?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Let's see if I can tell what this is before it gets to us. Maybe.
Yeah. With an 11, you're able to ascertain as this line and rustling through the tall grass is approaching you in a method that you know probably isn't like any other like animal or fauna that you have likely encountered. It doesn't appear like it's stalking you. It appears that it's like headed to you towards you cautiously. There's momentary breaks and stops in the rustling of the grass. When finally you see a break in the grass and you see a well-equipped individual, a human, and let me see. She has a kind of some blonde hair that's slickly kind of moved back either by the drizzling of the rain that's kind of pushed it back, or maybe she's got some sick ass gel that they have here on Evergreen that given her a fancy ass hairstyle. She says to you all, "Hold, hold! You all, the Union Auxiliaries, correct?"
That's correct. Who are you?
Well, my name is Brava Harada. I'm a member of Evergreen's militia. I am their commander. Please announce yourselves.
Bit strange for a commander to be out scouting.
There are troublesome forces out here on Hycenia. We've been plagued in the past by, call them rebels, or call them bugs. The group here, the militia here, can't exactly ascertain which they are. But they've caused us trouble in the past. I would ensure you all stick close to me as we make our way to Evergreen.
Q just nods and kind of follows.
Nosimbo says to you all, "It is your show from now on. I am but your support. I will follow your lead." You guys see the rest of Brava's contingent of militia. They appear very distraught and very paranoid as they're aiming their light rifles just literally at any direction, trying to make sure that they're
So
not
like
assailed.
response from them, basically.
Yeah, they're very cautious. You guys get that impression very quickly that they're expecting something, but there's no real guarantee that something will come.
As we're
Burn
walking, I'm going to ask Brava. You said either rebels or bugs. What do you mean?
Well, depends on who you ask, but if you ask me, yes, there are some bugs around here. They know how to use weapons like we do. They know how to kill like we do. And they most certainly have it out for us and Evergreen. I've lost those in the past to these attacks. And I have reason to believe if we don't make a quick movement, we'll lose more.
Wait, there are Halcyon natives?
Can't be sure. Patience. Evergreen's NHP, our administrator, suspects that they are just aimless raiders, and as she continues to explain, a shot rings across the valley, and you guys are kind of at the base of this valley with mountains or small hills on either side. A shot rings across the valley and destroys your escape or your launch pods, sending a cacophonous explosion behind you, sending you all into the dirt, into the mud. And then some of Brava's militia members say, "Contact, contact, contact, drop low, the bugs are here." And they just start firing off, like unorchestrated and uncommanded, just like start firing off aimlessly Brava did not drop to the ground. Brava has like a large personal anti-armor weapon, hasn't fired a shot yet, looks at you all steely-eyed and says, "Follow me now!"
Yep. Gears straight up and ready to go.
Yeah. Just
Yep.
That's that pistol ready.
Kaiser
He
says,
is,
"Don't worry about me. I'll follow." And then he's gonna activate his stealth suit.
Can
Nice.
I try to see where Can I try to like trace the angle of the shot, like see if I saw any flash or anything like that?
Yeah,
Or
you
is
can
it
give me a
kind
check.
of too chaotic?
You can give me a check if you want to. It's going to be too difficult.
Let's see if I can do it in the rain. Ibuki
Hey.
has eyes,
Woo.
apparently.
Nice.
The man has eyes.
With your quick training from the Horns Order, you're able to pick out the relative location of where this shot came from. You know that it's probably from an entrenched position, and they have a good line of sight, not only on your location, but also the colony of Evergreen that you're headed to. If you wanted to, you
Is
could
it
follow
like to
it.
the north, or like is there a cardinal direction it's to?
Yeah, I would say just to your west. So it's if we're looking at the image on the screen, it's north of town, but to your west.
okay.
I'm going to as we're running. I'm trying to sit close to Brava, and I say, tell your men to stop firing in random directions. The shot came from the west there. In the
You say
entrenched position, do you see it?
You say that, and one of the militia pick up on you before you Bravo even has time to respond and get them under control. They say, "The bugs! They're from the west. They're from the west of town. This is our chance. We can stop them. We can eliminate them." Bravo says, "Hold your guns. Hold your feet. Follow us. We must go to Evergreen." And before anything happens, two militia members start charging off into the tall grass. 3 more shots ring out, and you see,
Macaroni them.
yeah, you see the ripples that they're making in the ground just stop. Oh, in the tall grass just stop, and they just fall silent.
Everybody in Halcenia have a death wish?
Robin says, "That's 2 more. We have to go. We can't stay here long."
Gear's going to yell at some of the closer greenhorns and basically, "I can't pick you up if you go off on your own. They'll just snipe me. Stay together."
You say this in the chaos here. You get the sense that they have heard you. You are probably close enough to one of them to get the sense that you're a medical professional, and there's a strong odor coming off of these militia members, and it doesn't resemble like them not having like good cleanliness. It's like they're probably using some type of stimulant, and they are just erratic at this point. Almost like a confidence booster. So they're capable of hearing you, but they are finding it hard to be focused.
Can I
Yeah,
lead or inspire? Unless someone else has something that they would like to do.
Nah, go for it, man.
See if this works. No, it does not.
Oof.
Yeah, with the 6, they continue to fire and do their version of a tactical retreat. As Bravo leads the way, you all continue to follow, and we'll say there are 7 militia members, not counting Bravo, that came out to retrieve you all. 2 have already presumably been killed, and you find that the rest of the 5 slowly start to dwindle in numbers as you all make your way to Evergreen. It's not a super long journey to Evergreen, but you are trudging through dirt, mud, misshapen roads, and along the kind of countryside outside of Evergreen, you do see some destroyed buildings and burned down buildings as well. Brava says, "If we stay here any longer, we're not going to make it. Double time."
Yep.
Gear's going to make sure that the soldiers go ahead of her so that they can grab any that get unlucky.
Nice. Yeah, I say with that, you're able to kind of, since you all seem like you're pretty composed in the situation, you're able to pull together the remaining three militia members, not counting Brava, and make them follow you all as you approach the walls of Evergreen. The walls of Evergreen are quite tall. They're some, say, 50 or 60 feet tall. Um, you do see some signs of the gun batteries on the exterior walls. Some look like they're being constructed. Others look like they've been destroyed. Others look like they're barely functioning. The town or the colony of Evergreen has a distinct feature. The east part of town or the west part of town, if you look at the image, is has like taller, what you would ascertain as like residential buildings. And the rest of the town, other than the center of it, it's got kind of short and stocky buildings. Um, there aren't many vehicles arriving in town on the road that you guys are coming in on. It seems like the town is pretty conscious and pretty aware of the threat of leaving town and what that may incur from these bugs or pirates that are plaguing the colony. As you all make your way through the gates, you see the town itself and kind of what I described. The streets are somewhat paved. There's probably the errant sign of populace roaming about. As you guys enter, Brava says, she's kind of like breathing hard and panting a bit and says, "That's full already. We've lost to these bugs. I can't lose any more. You
You
all,
should get them to stop having their stimulants if you want them to survive. They don't listen to orders.
have you ever been on a deployment like this? A planet so hostile it seems to want to eke out and crush the very life that breathes within you?
Well, I mean, I lost my whole entire station to bugs, so similar. But you need to take control of your soldiers. They're going to all die if they keep taking these stimulants.
Uh, if you don't mind, I would appreciate your help in this endeavor. I've got so much on my plate already, and ensuring the stability of Evergreen is a chore enough.
Yes,
Talk to
you're
me.
the commander, so you issue the orders. So you need to stop them from having stimulants. You need to make sure that they're a bit more disciplined with their fire, because these, I guess, bugs, rebels, whatever, they are definitely better at fighting than us. They didn't have to engage much. They only took a few shots. They're patient. Whereas your soldiers are giving away their position, letting the bugs know exactly where they are all the time. You need them to stop that.
She kind of looks at you and looks at you with a very somber and sad face, as if remembering past mistakes. You get the sense that she's pretty new at this, although looking at the remaining 3 or 4 militia members, they seem to respect her a great deal. Um, but yeah, she kind of stills herself at your wise words, your somewhat harsh words, and says, "You're right. You're right. Should we get some time and after you meet with Patience and Adina, Patience Administrator, please come back to me. I feel I could learn a lot from you."
Of course, just issue those orders to stop the stimulants as quick as you can, because these soldiers are. Gear looks over to them and they're like probably tweaking out. Basically, they're not all there.
Unstable, erratic, suicidal, and just starts listing off adjectives.
Now, I have a question. You say soldiers, but they don't look exactly trained. Are they soldiers, militia, or people that were forced to pick up a gun? Civilians, really.
Well, I think it's more of a philosophical question, as it is. I think soldiers are defined by the situations that call them to bear arms. And in this sense, on Harcenia, anyone that can pick up a gun is a soldier.
Well,
Okay.
from most of Union, a soldier is a professional, employed person.
Yes.
These are militiamen. They aren't trained very well.
She looks at you and looks at Nosimbo and the rest of your party and says, "You all don't look like you're from Union, though." Look, it's none of my business. It's none of my business, but you're here and you're here to help, and that's good enough for me.
He was just awkwardly silent through all of this. Kind of, his hands are clutched, and you can see that he's thinking about something, but he doesn't really speak up. Earlier, when he tried to issue a command, it kind of got stuck in his throat, and instead he kept moving.
Nice. The effect of hysteria is already rooting itself in your soul.
You're in the dam now, boy.
Please reduce the clock on your morale by 1. No.
All right.
Give me a quick second. I need to roll morale. Shit, they all ran away.
Oh, God damn
Hold
it.
on. Let me pull up some notes real quick.
Well, remember, it's at least 3 plus because you lost 4 units.
Cool.
Yeah, but remember the bug effect
Oh, yeah,
makes
true,
my
true.
morale check harder.
Yeah. So,
So Brava's gonna say to you all, she'll tell you that she'll kind of give you the general gist of the layout of Evergreen. She'll point out as you're in the city, she still seems a bit cautious that she doesn't exactly know if the ones that attacked you when you landed have a clean line of sight on the city itself. So she's moving kind of cautiously. She's instructed the other militia members to get some rest and under Gear's direction, get some help with their apparent gym addiction. But she's told you all that you can find lodging at the bottom of the well. It is a local popular establishment in town where you already have places or domiciles kind of registered. She'll also point out that there is a popular bakery in town. As you move kind of closer into town, you kind of get the whiff in the air that's kind of fomenting through the muck and the dreary drenchedness of Evergreen, but it still kind of finds its ways up your nostrils and seems kind of like a nice comfort in this situation that you find yourselves in. Also, she instructs that there's the governor's farm, which is the center of town. It's where the militia keep their headquarters, their main headquarters. It has the tallest building in Evergreen, and that is where you will find Patience and Patience's handler, Adina G, I think her name is. You all will be instructed to report to the governor's farm at Patience's direction, but for now, you have time to mosey about town. I forget who was it? You, Kanya, who did a bit of research on important contacts. So Kanya, on your Omni slate, what's probably integrated into your hard suit, you do get a ping of the location, Private Novern and I guess Suki. Suki, I think it was Suki. Suki's let me check real quick the names. It is, so it's a Yuki Specs Wellington. She is here in Evergreen, and also Private Novum, the former captive of some of the MP War Order, is also here somewhere. So you have those 2 leads if you wish to track those down. Otherwise, you all are free to report to your the bottom of the well and just mosey about town.
Okay, so Norvern was an MP member.
No, so Private Norton was a captive, or
right.
Yeah, Infracounty don't take prisoners, but they were essentially what you would deem as a captive.
Okay.
Well, Gear's first going to take any supplies to the. You said we had some domiciles.
Yeah, so it's a hotel / bar / music place called the Bottom of the Well. It's on the west part of town near the Slow River.
Okay. They'll take stuff there. Just to basically stockpile it. Doesn't really bother setting it up properly, as they're sort of in go mode, and they're going to go find Brava after a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say Brava's probably following you all and serving as a very paranoid tour guide through Evergreen. She still has her like dope ass personal anti armor weapon attached to her, and is somewhat cautious and looking around corners of sorts, anticipating some attack, which has probably never happened in the past, but you never know.
Yeah.
She's probably gonna go and drink down some of her sorrows for just losing four folk.
Yep. Yeah, we'll stand behind her and go. So, you wanted my advice on your situation?
Yes, yeah. You seem to know what you're doing. I don't particularly recognize the part of the galaxy you're from, but if you're here, I know you're here to help, and you don't look like a bug to me, so come on, let's join me for a drink.
Quietly whispers to the other two in the group, "Nobody show her a picture of the ship."
I'll pass on drinking for now. We need to get situated first. You wanted advice regarding your handling of your soldiers.
As you ask that question, you get the sense that she is quite exhausted and distraught from losing three or four of her militia members and really needs some time to detox right now.
Right. So, I'm getting the sense that you're needing some recovery time. You take it easy. You should put your weapons away for a start. That'll help you calm down. And here's my contact details. Once you're in a good state of mind and preferably not hungover, send me a message.
She says to you, "Thanks, Gear. I don't mean to be short or distant with you, but as you can see, the situation is tense here. Please, meet me at the bottom of the well in a few moments. There's a singer from the Greytowns that's due up on stage, and surely they will be able to lift my hearts and lift our spirits."
Gear's giving a very confused expression and is gonna nod.
All right. Nosimbo's going to look at the other three of you. Who's following Brava and Gear?
Yeah, Kanye will.
So, Kanye, you're following Brava and Gear?
Mm.
Okay. And then what about the other two?
I think Kaiser wants to go to the local drinking spot, meeting spot.
Okay. So that's also the bottom of the well. And then Key.
Key's actually gonna stay outside and kind of look towards the direction in which we were attacked. And their other weapon also happens to be a large rifle.
Nice.
But they're not like scanning for enemies. They're just kind of looking out over the area and seeing where enemies could come from. It's not that they're expecting to take a shot, but they're
Gotcha.
trying to figure out how the enemy set up the ambush, and they kind of mumble to themselves that thing that they always say to themselves about which being more dangerous, rhinos or jaguars.
Okay, nice. Nasimbo's going to follow you as you're kind of like posted out outside of some of the more populated and densely packed buildings in Evergreen. She's going to bend down before you, pick up some mud, and kind of rub it in between her fingers and say, "Key, you have the same inclination and instincts I have as well. If there was a sniper or pirates, whatever this Brava has called them, keen in on our position, I say it is our duty, it is Shaka's decree, that we seek out this sniper and eliminate him. Do you agree?"
Key just kind of gives a short nod and mumbles before saying a little bit more clearly, "I do not like this valley. Too many angles. Too surrounded. We are at a disadvantage here."
Your instincts are as sharp as ever. This is being proved to me again and again. You see this dirt here? It is the same dirt we will bury this sniper in. When the time comes, I expect that you will voice your concern. Should we be tasked with finding the sniper, or whatever we be tasked for here on Evergreen, I trust that you will voice your concern with the defenselessness of this colony.
I only hope that I will be listened to. And Key is gonna kind of not really seeing much on the horizon. Assumingly, Key is gonna kind of pack up their stuff and see about finding the rest of the group.
Got you. Nosimbo is also gonna follow you after a little bit, but she is headed directly towards her room at the bottom of the well, which you know is on the third floor, the top floor of this establishment, and she doesn't look like she's ready to get acclimated with any of the populace here. She is on a mission, and she's all about the mission. So yeah, she'll part from you. And it sounds like the rest of you want to follow Brava to the bottom of the well and maybe get some detox.
Gear is absolutely on mission and just wants to have the soldiers not be panicked Nam greenhorns because that is how you lose a lot of soldiers. So that's their main focus, and they're refusing drinks at the moment.
Nice,
So
nice.
what you're gonna want to do is tell your soldiers to stop dosing up on the ladder. It's not good.
Nice,
All
nice.
kinds of shenanigans.
So, Brava is we find you all at the bottom of the well with Brava as she's had several drinks at this point. It's kind of like dousing her sorrows and stealing her resolve. She's probably told some offhanded stories about folks she's lost along the way. Also, the importance of Evergreen to her and the family she has here in the colony, and kind of why she's fighting for the colony. She's got some significant reasons, not only because of her stature as a commander of the militia, but also because of her familiar connections to the folks here in Evergreen. Short time after her kind of like aimless ramblings to you all, a singer walks into the bottom of the well. They are pretty well dressed in a sequined outfit, and it is a dress. And they get up to the mic and start their small introduction and start singing some soft tunes. In the backdrop, you guys hear the soft pitter patter of rain above the prefab roofs of Evergreen here. And as the singer starts singing, Brava opens up to you all more coherently now and says, we've lost so many. Gear, your name was correct?
Yes.
Tell me, what do you have? What recommendations do you have to whip my militia into shape?
First point of contention is definitely the stimulants. While they are designed for trained professionals, usually special forces, to use to stay awake and stay effective, those people are thoroughly trained, and even when they are addled by the drugs, they are able to follow and give orders coherently. Your soldiers are militiamen and probably have as much training as a child, honestly. They need more training if they're going to use stimulants. So that's the first thing. Kick the drugs. Then make sure that the soldiers that you're taking on to patrols like today have enough training to know to not just fire sporadically. That gives away your position in these kinds of conditions. And as we saw today, it makes it very easy for the enemy to dispatch us.
She lets out a big sigh and says, you speak many truths, and to be honest, you're the first visitors that have come here since we've started receiving these attacks, but somewhat of a month ago. You see, not many come here to help train this fledgling colony here on Evergreen. Our launch pad, or effectively called the bowl, it's been washed out by the perpetual storms here. Seems that the whole planet itself seeks to drown us out, and those who don't drown are killed in the grass. I say this to say that our our supply of well-learned teachers is quite slim, and I will take your words and see them implemented to the best of my ability. But I would ask one thing: um, if you could potentially lend a hand. I don't know what patients will send you on or what endeavors you'll be involved on, but if you could lend a hand and help train up the defenses here, I would greatly appreciate it.
Seems like you need it. We'll talk to the governor soon. I just need to trust that you're going to make sure your soldiers are not in a state which will get them killed.
I'll try. I mean, there are a couple ways to go about it. Most of these stems come in from the gray towns, and you've heard this reference at least twice or maybe a few more times now. But the gray towns are a set of establishments outside of Evergreen. For whatever reason, there are people here that don't live within the city walls. You don't know exactly why, but for whatever reason, they don't. But they also have, from what Bravo's telling you, have access to things that you wouldn't be able to find here in Evergreen. So Bravo says, I guess you could go the long route of training the militia here to steal their resolve and I guess be more like you, but I think the quick fix would be if I had my way, I would cut off the supply. If we can stop the supply of stimulants from the Grey Towns, maybe we'll have an easier time of getting the militia back to their senses.
I feel like that might be unnecessary. I'm assuming there's some kind of economic trade agreement with the Grey Towns or something for that supply to happen. There's no need to stop it, it's just stop issuing it to your soldiers. Once they're experienced enough and actually follow orders, then you can totally use it again, but at this point, it's not ready.
Q is going to I imagine that this is when Q is actually getting in the bar, or rather, Q got into the bar maybe a little bit before this and overheard this much.
Okay.
Just because I wanted to ask something and also input something, which was as Q approaches the bar where you're sitting with Brava, he says, as Q approaches the bar, he says, "It is do not blame the bee for seeking sugar where it is. It would be easier to if these militiamen are really addicted to these supplements. It would be easier to get them to stop if you got them to go, as they say in Union space, cold turkey. Where are these gray settlements? Do you know how they're getting these? Do you know how they're getting these supplements? And do you know if they have had any attacks of their own?"
Yes, give me 1 second. Let me find something real quick for you guys. I should know this. So I'll just cut to this. So Brava says, acknowledging what Gear said and then acknowledging what you said, says, you see, I've struggled with the same decision myself, whether we take the long road of cutting the addiction or take the short and easy path of cutting the supply. The Grey Towns, at least one of them, are called Lou Mays. They're some distance outside of the city. I'm not sure of the exact supplier there. Maybe our engineer in town knows more, but it's going to be a troublesome road, I'm sure. And as well, I don't mean to distract you all from the reason you are here. This is more internal politics here on Evergreen. I I know that you all are destined for your communion with patience and Edina, and so don't spend too much time with me. I don't want to distract you.
Oh no,
Um,
this is a serious issue, and may I interject before I maybe take it up to the stage and try my hand at singing? Is that perhaps we can compromise? Maybe ask the people in the Grey Town, their main supplier, to modify their drugs to be less effective. Quitting cold turkey, in my experience, even the most hardened SSC spec ops find it difficult to quit a drug, especially one that, in a sense, makes them believe that they're more than what they are. I think
You
if
want
you
to? These people are running on barely a morale, and you want to try and use the placebo effect?
no, modify it so they're less effective, so that they're confident because if they need this drug, then perhaps if we take it away from them, they just might quit the militia. They might not even go hold a gun, not even brave enough. These are civilians, and this matter has to be made with some tact. They're not exactly signed up to be soldiers.
Hmm.
A good point.
Bravo looks at
Did-
you. Go ahead, Key.
I was just gonna ask, did Brahma ever say whether or not the Gray settlements ever got attacked by the bugs?
The Grey Towns ever got attacked by the bugs?
Yeah.
No, she never mentioned that.
Okay. Am I to assume that they don't get
Um,
attacked, or that
sure.
it's just not known if they get attacked?
on your journey into Evergreen, you did see some burned down buildings on the outskirts, and you know that Evergreen looks fairly intact, at least from uh, the scars of of raids or anything. So you would stand the reason that anything outside the city walls is up for grabs, and there's a possibility, a percentage case that the Grey Towns were probably attacked.
Got you. Thank you.
So in response to what you said, Joseph, Brava perks up and looks at the singer that is from the Grey Towns. And her name is, her stage name rather, is Grey Towns. And she's got a soft and smoothing voice. And she looks back at you and says, I could see this happening. We likely have the resources here. I'd have to check with Dina G and in patience, but if we were to dilute the stimulants, maybe we could wean the militia off and, in effect, probably create a better situation here in Evergreen and win back the militia's nerve.
Do we know what the stimulant is? Because weaning off anything is problematic, but these aren't cigarettes we're talking about. It's not just going to make you angry.
Well, I mean, there are those here on the colony that have suffered the false effects of, or the adverse effects of taking a concoction like the stimulants that the militia takes. But to say exactly what they are, it's ever changing. You know, you kind of, once you take something that's enough to stimulate the mind and body, you want to take something that's harder and harder, and so the stimulants that the Grey Towns are pumping out are ever changing, and it's hard to pinpoint what exactly they are, is what I'm trying to say.
Would I be able to do a roll to see if I know, and like from the symptoms I've observed, if I can like identify the exact strain of stim it is?
Yeah, you can. Brava
Assuming.
doesn't have it on her right now, but
Yeah.
you have to take some time to look at it.
Yeah. So without having it here, would I be able to do essentially a more difficult roll of just doing a patch roll to see
Based on symptoms.
Yeah, based on symptoms alone.
You can just give me a regular roll.
Sure. Okie dokie. That's a D12. That's not a D20. That's a D20. Boop. Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, with the 8, it's just describing from the symptoms that Brava has told you. you know, pretty much what you know is that it's a pretty addictive concoction that's circulating through Evergreen. Well, not Evergreen, but more so the militia as of now. And looking at Brava, you don't get the inclination that she has been hooked on any of these stimulants. She is powered by her own resolve to protect Evergreen and doesn't need anything else.
I don't know the specific details of it. I would need to investigate the actual drug itself, so I'd have to get a sample. But it seems like it's probably one of the standard, probably SSC grade combat stims, which are usually only for spec ops. So not great for a militiaman.
At the sound of that, Brava sighs, and she has no reason to disbelieve you. She sighs a big sigh and says, "There's just another thing and another thing that continues to affect this colony. All I want to do is protect us all. But here I hear you. You tell me that there are these SSC grade stimulants." She orders another drink, drinks it, and kind of like slaps her face a bit and says, this is tomorrow's problem." She looks at you all.
She before Brava's able to go, she is going to like sort of signal her down. I know that you're probably in your first command, and it's a stressful situation, but you will probably get through it. I say probably because you never know. But you'll, as long as you just keep a good head, make sure that your soldiers are doing exactly what you need them to do, you'll be fine. And Evergreen will be fine.
Brava looks at you and says, "Let us hope so, I guess." And as she finishes that and finishes another drink, you all get a ping from Evergreen's NHP patients. And there's a subtext on this ping, and it is from Adina G. It reads, "Find me at the governor's farm. There's a bit of orientation we need to commence with."
Well, looks like we have to go. I never had a chance to sing. Anyways, time for that later.
You can take your turn at the mic real quick. You guys have a bit of time before you report to the governor's farm.
Key is gonna say, perhaps that's for the best as he exits. Not necessarily sure he wants to find out how well or not so well Kaiser can sing.
Tanya has tapped his necklace, which is his data plating unit, and has set it to record.
Oh God.
Let's see how this goes. Let's see. So, Kaiser does have a few tricks, and basically he's cheating. Because not only does he have those G mods, which they help a little bit, but his main ace in the hole is he has a prosco collar, which allows him to modify his voice.
It's
I think what you mean is that you actually have an organ for that.
So are you really about to go T-Pain on this mic?
No, it's
like a melody.
It's SSC. It's more subtle. No one will even know it's auto-tuned.
I think
it's Vocaloid. It's just Vocaloid.
How bad the auto-tune is?
World is mine.
We need an auto-tune roll, GM. We need it.
I'm not gonna make Joseph or Kaiser roll a auto-tune roll. You if you want to step up to the mic, the performer named Greytown sees you approach. She waves off her dark long hair that's drenched a little bit by the rain, and passes you the mic and says, "Please, I haven't seen you before, but if you'd like to try your hand or your voice at uplifting the spirits here, I invite you."
I am here to uplift the spirits. Yes, you could say that. Very well. It's been a while, so don't judge
Kaiser.
too harshly.
Because as you look out, there are maybe like 5 or 6 drunk folks in this at the bottom of the well. There's a bartender. Nosimbo is just now walking down the stairs quite slowly, not in her anything that is indicative of Infocane paraphernalia. And you see Rava looking at you and walking out of the door.
Yeah, I think Kaiser is going to tune his voice so that he actually sounds decent, but I would like to suggest something, if you allow it, is that he wants to uplift the spirits by telling, like, essentially singing a story. So it sounds decent, but it's more so like the words and the lyrics, the meaning, the way
So
he.
you got Bob Dylan on us.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say Tater and the
basically.
Monkey Man.
Yeah, would that count as like a charm roll?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it sounds like you're performing an Ignoma, but if you're not, that's
Oh
fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
let's
honestly,
say that
yeah.
because I'm taking the boot though. Spoilers.
Nice. So yeah, you're over there performing an Ignoma, and it is something like none of the folks other than Nocebo and you all have likely seen. If you want to roll, you can, but I can just give you an automatic success. But if you want to try for a 20, we'll see.
Yeah, let's try for 20. Would I get an accuracy from my Prosco color?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's a Terrio. It's like less so of a song, but like a long, sort of like a musical. It's a story with 3 parts, 3 acts, a
God.
song of loss. It's specifically about the two soldiers, and he's leaving the part where they like panic and stimmed, of course. But it's like a song of bravery, a song of loss, a song of mourning, like to inspire and also to remember those who have fallen.
Ooh.
As
that's
beautiful as it is, because it's so long, halfway through Gear's gonna just leave.
Yeah. It's mostly for the drunk people that might be soldiers, but
Yeah.
They can't even get up.
Kanya
Joseph-
as
Wait,
like.
did you
se-
just?
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, did you just sing Darmok from Star Trek? Darmok,
At this,
Yeah.
adorable, best episode.
at this
And he
point,
tops it
Kanya has
off with,
set up
like-
his Omni hook again. Has actually started streaming this.
oh yeah, Kaiser. Despite what Shaka just told him about saying discreet, he is like taking the spotlight.
Nice.
And he, at the end of it, just a little treat is that he actually winks, and there's a light. It's like what you see in TV. Like there's the little shining wink light, and you can't tell if that's like part of his like stealth suit or it's like actually an organ that emits light when he winks.
Phosphorescent tears.
Nice. Yeah, so Joseph, as you're performing this iteration of Urigoma, Nosimbo is stopping on the stairs, and she pulls out a drum from the back and starts to kind of pitter patter on the drum's lip to follow your cadence. Brava, who was initially going to leave, seeing Gear leave the bottom of the well, stops in the door, and as you get to the part of your song that goes about retelling the honoring the fallen, you see some emotion strike her face. She stays there, half in, half out, half remembering those that have fallen, and half looking forward to hopefully not losing any others. The others in the bar, the drunk and the bartender, are all captivated by this story. And the woman named Greytown, her stage name, is very interested and very appreciative of the story you've told.
Yeah.
If
And
it doesn't start, and Kanya tries to like sort of like nudge along some polite applause.
So we get a resounding, not resounding, but a slow creep of applause from the some maybe 15 people in this bar, and we get a kind of the camera kind of pans in on you for Nosimbo, Brava as the door closes and she leaves, and the lady from the performer from the Great Towns. But yeah, you all are called to patience.
While everyone is enjoying Darmuk and Jalam at Tanagra, Qtepi is trying to do a Qtepi and Brava at Patience. That's where I'm at right now. Sorry.
Oh, you're following. You're following. So Brava isn't going to patience. Brava's just going to go and kick it back. But if you want to make your way,
Yeah,
default.
I don't think I stayed.
Okay, got you.
I left.
Got you. So yeah, you're following Gear through Evergreen to the governor's farm, which is notably more guarded and more secure than the rest of the city. Kanya, what you up to?
He's probably gonna like stay for a second, like ask like bartender or people around start asking about Yuki.
Yeah, you'll get some surprised looks that someone new in town knows the name Yuki. And let's see, what's Yuki's code name or like
Specs.
Yeah, Specs. Yeah, the bartender will tell you that Yuki Specs Wellington does frequent the bottom of the well quite a lot. Right now, they are sent out on a kind of a perimeter check of the external defenses by patients, but they should be back later in the day. Should you want to chat it up with them?
Thing, and just essentially says, "Oh, okay, great. If they get in, tell them that the Horns is looking for an audience and hope to get a hold of her."
The bartender looks at you as like, the Horns? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Don't worry, it's just my organization. It's fine.
Nice. Bartender gives you a farewell drink and just says, "Welcome to town."
Slancha and throws it back.
Nice. And then Joseph, what are you up to?
He's just gonna go by Kanya and say, of course, more. I hope you enjoyed the performance. The more important question is, did you get that recorded? And how many likes are on the Omninets?
He homes up his data slate, and it's not the biggest forum you've ever seen, but it's also like a group of SSC and like mech enthusiasts, and you've got like a bunch of them going say, "Oh, that's biomodded, you piece of shit," and there's like mixed reviews.
You know what? They're just jealous they couldn't afford biomods.
You're at 60,000 views and rising, though.
Great. Let's hope the people of Evergreen, the Snor's militia, appreciate it and know that it was I, Kaiser.
Yeah, well, definitely the folks in the bar appreciate it.
Oh no, it's on 9 gig. I'm sorry, dude, you're doomed.
It's okay. I have bots set up to turn those into memes. Further my infamy. That's the best way to deal with a negative situation.
Wait, where did you get net bots for Omni? We need to talk. And just starts walking away.
And then he like hits up with the patients.
Nice. So yeah, you guys get another ping from patients. They are very eager to meet your acquaintance. As Qtepi. I'm sorry. Could you repeat your name?
Qtepi.
Qtepi. So as Qtepi and Gear are already headed towards the governor's farm, and likely have made it through the kind of initial gates and are seeing the tallest building in Evergreen. You two following close suit as the rain kind of picks up a bit more, drizzling down upon your noggins. Evergreen right now is dreary, as dreary as it can be expected, and Nosimbo will stay behind and await you guys' report. Soon after, we find all four of you in the main building of the governor's farm, going up the elevator up to meet Patience and Adina G. The governor's farm is quite nice. It's got facilities for data storage, as well as the militia here, as well as just the series of buildings that compose the more administrative portions of Evergreen, the council hall, and a number of other locations. Going up the elevator, it looks quite nice. And soon after, you all reach the top floor where you see. Let me pull up two thingies for you guys. Okay, so this is Adina G, and this is Patience. Can you guys see both of those?
Oh,
Yep.
All right. So, Patience to you all is standing in front of a glass pane window or plaster window that has water kind of drizzling down from the torrential downpour here. It seems to pick up a little bit as you guys reach the top floor, and you all outlook the rest of the colony of Evergreen, and just beyond it, the location where you all landed, and beyond that, just the continued valley. Sitting in a chair in front of the desk, you see Adina G. She is what you gather, a very astute and serious individual who doesn't greet you with any facial recognition. She tends to her Omnipad, checking what presumably would be like your ID records, and nods at Patience. And Patience looks at you all with its hands in its pockets and says, "Finally, you're here.
Love that.
Members of Emphakane, I do presume."
The one
That's
and
us.
only.
Nods.
I hear you all are guided by one like me. The name is Shaka. Am I correct?
Nods.
Well, Shaka won't be here helping you. And our mission here, your mission, is to ensure its will, and my will by extension, is done here on Evergreen and here on Hycenia. Is that understood?
Q kind of nods, but as he walks up his own hands in his pockets, he kind of looks around and he says, "Yes, but while you are well informed, you happen to also be somewhat misinformed. It is not us who seek help from Shaka. He guides us, but we are his hands."
Patience looks at you and kind of turns around, turns its back to you, and looks out on Evergreen and says, "I appreciate the connection to you, your instrumentality, and Shaka's direction. But I will advise you, the situation here on Evergreen is grave. And while Shaka may guide you, it is ignorant of our problems. You all to report to me and my accomplice here, Adina G. Do we have understanding?"
Yes, I am at your service, as long as it doesn't interfere with any of Shaka's.
Yeah, Q kind of nods in a insofar as you can be concerned way, but like it's unnecessary standoff, and it feels a little bit out of character from the otherwise quiet man.
Nice, nice. Kanya, what are you doing?
Continuing to nod, but sort of like pauses, looks at the two of them, sort of moment of consideration, but yeah, just remains quiet.
Okay. Patience continues, turning around to face you all again, and says, "There are a number of problems here on Evergreen. I would like you all to most premier of those problems, and this continued operation and stability of Evergreen is the situation with our flooded bowl, our landing pad. We are unable to get reinforcements and necessary shipments while it is flooded. I would task you all with guiding our chief Fielding, our engineer here on Evergreen, and his forces to solve this flooding problem. The other matter, which I'm sure you've dealt with, considering the reports from Brava, are the incessant attacks from the bugs. I mean, he looks at Adina G, and Adina G looks at him and says, I mean, these pirates that continue to plague Evergreen. You see, this colony is meant for greatness, and I will ensure its continued greatness. But with these pirates attacking us, it causes complications, as you would expect.
Gear's going to perk up a little. So, you say pirates. They've also been called rebels. They frequently are called bugs. What can you tell us of the enemy?
Some of the militia call them, or like to refer to them as egregorians. It is a term that is describable of a centered in togetherness, a one mind, a cult even. But I believe this to be false. These pirates are mere imitators, donning the armor of a long lost savage civilization. And I use the word civilization lightly. What was once here on Hycenia is no more. It is but a false memory of this planet's past. These pirates you speak of, they are but opportunists, thrill seekers, and those who seek to demolish Landmark Colonial's mission here on Hycernia.
Is Landmark Colonial a company built during the Second Commission?
Landmark Colonia is a subsidiary of the Smith-Shimano Corporation, and we are legitimate by every means. Wow.
You me as a 2Com NHP. Am I correct?
Okay, repeat that. Repeat what you say.
You strike me as a 2Com NHP.
What do you mean by that?
Second.
Okay.
What is it again? Is it
Second.
Yeah. But is that like a dig, or is that like not a dig?
It's half a dig, but it's mostly like he's calling a culture savage, and that is hardcore 2Com.
Gotcha. Okay.
They would
Threatening the prospect of anthroshogunism.
Gotcha. Patience responds with, I think I get what you're going at. You see, my interpretation and the records show of General Massive Systems' involvement here on Harsinia is that the native population was but akin to the ants you find on Cradle, mere insects reacting to external stimuli controlled by a overmind. I would not call this a civilization as you've called it. I would call it a product of this planet's evolution.
You seem outdated.
Well, that may be your opinion, but Per the agreements, you are Union's auxiliaries, and my communication with Shaka, and I believe what you call your governing body, Umthethal, and he butchers the shit out of that. He says, you are here to aid the colonists here on Evergreen, and by association, Landmark Colonial's mission, whether that calls for the handling of these native populations or these pirates, is not of your concern. Though I am a kind individual, and I will regard your opinions on the matter gravely.
Would it be the concern of human resources?
What do you mean by that?
So, DOHI, I think it is. I can't remember.
Okay.
The
Gotcha. Yeah,
DOJ.
DOJ.
the
Mhm.
cops,
Mhm.
the war crime cops.
Patience stops talking for a little bit and passes the floor to Edina. And Edina says, listen, Gear, I understand your concerns. And you see, Patience and my mission here, our charter, says that we are to protect the civilians here of Evergreen. You have likely noticed the extreme situation that we are under. There are external forces here, we believe, brewing. Not only that, there are underlining political issues, social political issues, with the establishment of the Grey Towns that, hopefully, with your intervention, we can all come to an understanding and an agreement. Patience is a kind soul, and while he does have they do have a perspective on Evergreen's prosperity, I would have you know, I will ensure it never runs contrary to Union's declaration and the three pillars.
Is there an equivalent to an insight check?
Can I? Yeah. Can I actually do a? God, what is it
Does
called?
it
I
read
gotta
the
look
room
at
or
it.
something?
Yeah. Read a situation.
You guys don't have to do that. I can just tell you, Edina G is being very earnest, and
Straight up.
she's like very objective and very earnest about her comments. She honestly believes, not personally, but in her profession, that this livelihood of the Grey Towns and the populace here in Evergreen will contribute to Patience's mission for the prosperity of Evergreen. Patience is a little like objective, and he's an NHP, so it's like, oh, they are an NHP, so it's like, take that with a grain of salt about their disposition towards you, but they are honestly like not a malicious entity. They're kind of kind, but just kind of, I think more so they're a product right now of the situation that they're in.
Yeah, the vibe I get is that they were built during Second Com, so they use the language of Second Com, but they're not
Oh.
necessarily an actual psyker.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's non-sentient alien life is sort of the norm because
Yeah.
SSC Silpsuit comes from non-sentient life. So I think Kaiser would be like, oh yeah, it's landmark. They probably discovered some weird bug that could be used in soup or something.
Yeah. Gear is definitely some shifty eyes on them, though.
And
Mm.
Tanya
Mm.
sort of puts a hand on the shoulder and like, just sort of like nods. It's like, we'll get back to that. But for now, we look
Yeah.
forward to working with all of you.
Are you addressing Edina or are you addressing Patience?
Both. We look forward to working with you.
Patience says to you, Kanya, and says, that's what I like to hear. And so, I will be sending you all to address one of two instances. I am aware that you also traveled here with another, one of Shaka's horns. I believe her name is Nosimbo, and he also butchers Nosimbo. I believe her name is Nosimbo. I would hope that you all ensure Nosimbo remains in accordance with your mission. here on Evergreen.
If you can be sure of one thing in this universe, it is of her dedication.
Thank you, Kanya. Now let me open the floor. And he turns around to look back on the visage of Evergreen and says, "Is there anything else me or I or Adina can help you with?"
Do you have any information on the drug problem with your militia? They're
Uh,
taking stims that are a bit above their tolerances.
Give me 1 second. Here, cool.
Sure.
Yeah, so Patience responds and says, "I believe that the militia is but a product of the human condition. When you're faced with grave circumstances and you don't understand where they come from, you may lead yourself to believe stories and rumors, and often descend into the slow decline of other stimulants to ensure your sanity. I know the militia is a
I'm asking
Go ahead.
if you know where they're getting their stimulants. It's adversely affecting their combat potential and getting many of them killed. It would be better for Evergreen if they were not on those stimulants or on a different kind.
I see what you're getting at. My apologies. I've been long on this colony and I tend to belabor on points. But to your question, yes, I believe the flow of stimulants come from the Grey Town. If you would find it within your fancy, I would see these Grey Towns cleaned up a bit. Adina looks at Patience a bit and kind of sucks her teeth, like, and then looks back at you all.
Gear is looking pretty pointedly at Adina, is like, would you look at that? Another slip up.
Adina interjects for a moment and says, "Now, Patience, be mindful. The Grey Towns serve their purpose." The Patience says, "You are correct, Adina. My apologies."
I'm watching you, robot.
And Kanya's just here, just like, please curb your hostility.
Well, man, we need these guys.
You guys have any other questions?
I guess points of interest in the area other than the Grey Towns?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, never mind, I remember. So Patience says, just kind of telling you, there are two Grey Towns that are most notable, that are pretty far away from each other and equidistant from Evergreen. They are Merricktown and Lumaze. And in between there are spotted farms and offhanded outposts and other places where people post up shop. But they are by no means protected to the extent that Evergreen is protected, and are not recognized as official, by extension, union establishments, and by association, not under Patient's protection or concern. You get the sense that Adina believes different.
Alright. I may not have come through right, but my question was other than the Grey Towns.
Oh, other than no.
Okay.
Patience he'll probably allude to, and he'll use their vernacular for this. It'll say mounds and hills, as if describing derelict places that are vestiges of this planet's native population, effectively comparing them to anthills and termite mounds.
Mhm.
I did want to ask, beyond the wall, which is in and of itself in disrepair, are there any other defenses? Have you like shored up the areas of easy accessibility where these pirates, as they've been calling them, can like entrench themselves near the town?
Patients will effectively tell you that the short answer is no. They don't have, or yeah, they don't have the resources, nor does Evergreen have the resources to mount a defensible fortification on the main entry roads or anything else. It appears these attacks have been random and they've been ongoing for a month, and they've been affecting Evergreen's prosperity to the point where it's just really hard to put together some defense. I.e., that's why you all are here.
Understood.
Yep.
Otherwise, I think I'm ready to go in terms of getting this engineer where he needs to be.
So you guys have a decision. It's either help the engineer out or track down this sniper quotations.
My opinion would be help the engineer, because assuming this sniper issue is because of the bugs, there's going to be another one to replace them pretty quick if we do take it out.
And even still, if it's posted up around this town, we may draw its attention regardless.
But if we track it, it might lead us back to wherever their outpost is would be my first thought.
Yeah. So what
Not
did
necessarily, though.
What did the engineer need?
The engineer needs escort to escort him and his workers to drain the bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
bowl-
also can't help but feel like the bowl is the better option, though.
Yeah.
It's sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong. The bowl is like the basically base station, essentially.
Yeah, the launch pad. Yeah.
Launch pad.
The only way you can get down to this planet is if you shoot yourself at it, like we did so far. So
Yeah, and then you will definitely be attacked by the sniper.
Yeah,
So
that
you guys
seems
could technically you could fail at doing this bowl mission, and you still have to deal with anyone who comes to the town as reinforcements is going to get shot the shit up.
true.
So let's not fail at the bowl mission.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hedge my bets then by taking out Sniper Oni, or basically just do it under sniper fire.
Is the Are we assuming the sniper is going to engage us at the bowl too? Is
Yeah,
the bowl itself?
Well, we
at
are
all
assuming
defensible?
that, but yes.
Well, I guess more so my question is like, is the bowl itself more defensible? Because I mean, I'm not sure who said it. I think Gear said it, but like, if you, landing a drop pod and getting shot by a sniper is bad, but like, getting off an airplane and getting shot by a sniper still bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the point of
You can get different resources
Well,
with the drop
different
pad, at
resources,
least.
and if the sniper does engage while we're attempting to do what we do with draining out the bowl, that seems a
can
hell
track
of
it
a lot
down.
better than following it into jungle it knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely got the defender's advantage and probably has some claymores ready to blow us the fuck up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Q-Tippy, or Q-Tippy, you would also know that Nocimbo doesn't know about the bowl mission specifically, but is ultimately dedicated to demolishing anyone that would dare attack her and the Horns Order.
Yeah, I know Nasimbo's wishes, but the fact of the matter is that the reason why Q-Tepi didn't really respond to her when she was like, "Yeah, we gotta curb stomp the sniper," is because that's not what was on his mind.
Okay.
He knows that is the impy thing to do, but he is not a great impy.
Okay.
A quiet lad.
Joseph, what do you do? What do you
Definitely.
think?
You go.
I think that Joseph sees the merit of both, in that without the bowl, then you can't get the nice resources. But sniper killing the sniper would probably boost the morale of the soldiers. Just knowing that they're safe and people, random convoys aren't going to get sniped off because, and also, track it to the hideout, like someone said. Yeah, but I don't imagine the sniper can like snipe a big ship that lands at the pole.
No, but
I am going to, Legion, if I can stare at you right now, I'm going to stare at you because snipe a big ship is what happened in our campaign.
Yeah.
I took some liberties.
In the very least, what Qtepi is probably thinking right now is that like if us trying to basically clear the bowl is going to draw the sniper, then we can probably knock out two birds with one stone. But the
that's
fact of the
kind of
matter
my
is,
that's my thought, and
yeah,
this is completely above board. But yeah, I'm down to potentially achieve objective and use civilians as bait.
Jesus.
I,
You are the Luke, so.
I'm a psychopath. Kanya's not a psychopath.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are expected
Preference
to
would
correct.
definitely be- You
Go
go, boss.
Go ahead.
Gear's preference is definitely to fix the bowl, even if it's under fire, as it is very valuable to have, and doesn't very much like the idea of going through jungle tracking a sniper, because snipers are crafty bastards.
Okay.
Qtepi, yeah, I think Qtepi kind of like pushes their hand through their locks, and they kind of say out loud that even if we do track this sniper to wherever the rest of its allies are hiding out, it does us no good if we get there and realize that we don't have the resources and can't call in the resources we need to eradicate that nest.
Patience responds and says, "True, but the message you would send if you eliminate those who take opportunistic attacks on Evergreen back to those who had launched them could be momentous. Think of the ripples from a drop of water in a pond."
Qtepi's kind of smiles. Sorry, I gotta do cool guy stuff. Qtepi smiles, and he simply says, "Which is more dangerous, the charging Rhino or the Jaguar in weight?"
Patience will ponder on that for a bit.
Processing.
Adina will speak. Well, actually, so let's finish. So I got Qtepi. I guess are you saying you want to go for the bowl?
Yeah, Qtepi's saying he wants to go for a bowl. He's fine if he doesn't send a message, is literally what he's trying to say. It's fine. He's fine if people think they're still safe.
Cool. Kanya and Joseph, what are your thoughts?
Joseph is neutral, mostly because me, the player, knows what's going to happen, or what approximately might happen.
You don't know.
Metagamer. Wow.
You don't know.
This is the official Ukuwa remix.
Yeah, remix.
Ukuwa
Kanya.
chop and screwed.
Bowl. He sees no benefit from literally kicking the hornet's nest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So who's going to speak up for the group?
I think Q.
Yes.
Unless anyone else is really cool.
the one that's got the floor,
I-
sort of.
Yeah, I got leadership. I got leadership dice. I got lead and inspire. I'm good at taking the leading role, I guess.
Nice.
It's the fucking Chad from Bleach moment where he pushes back his hair and you finally see his eye for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then I have 2 cool arms. Ignore me.
Alrighty. Go ahead and if you want to initiate it, go ahead.
Q basically turns and says, "We'll clear out the board. If they see us as if they think us weak enough targets to attack while doing so, we will correct them severely."
All right. Patience responds. Well, at first, Adina G nods, and then Patience responds with, "I see. I trust the opinion of you, Impy of the Horns, but I cannot deny. My thoughts ponder and waver towards what would Shaka do. I assume it and its instrumentality would chase down those that threat us and eliminate them effortlessly.
You
But-
think too little of Shaka.
That I may."
He would have
Yeah, no.
already TBK'd this place again.
Fuck him.
Yeah,
Patience-
Shaka
Patience doesn't-
would have nuked from orbit. Let's be honest.
Patience, Patience doesn't have an esophagus, but it coughs. And then and says, well, if you have decided, then I have just activated your permissions for our printer, our scheduled to printer here on Evergreen. You have free access to it, but I also noticed that you have licensure that permits you to printing gear that is indicative of Infocane. You would find that our printer here is well equipped to print this gear. Should you have any complications, please contact Adina G. She is quite capable of handling any of your concerns. With that, pilots, I bid you adieu.
Before they leave, Kanya does the equivalent of trading communication information with. And he's like, "Okay, here's my personal slate, not just the team group. I'd like to have a conversation later."
Tanya's
Okay.
like, "Hey girl, can I have your number?"
It's like, "Hi, you're a technical person. I'm also a technical person. Here."
Adina acknowledges that, and I forget what the place is called. Okay, yeah, she sends you back the coordinates to the block, which is effectively called the bakery. It's a sweet scent that permeates the downpour here on Evergreen. She would like to get some biscuits and tea with you.
Blimey. Gear is given the side eye to Adina as they leave. I hope you know what you're doing.
I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gathering intel.
Oh, not to
I'm
you.
on a date.
To Adina? Yeah,
Yeah.
Adina just gets up and kind of flushes her nice ornate jacket and just kind of wraps it around her and just nods you all adieu and walks up to patients to, looks like, update them on some other happenings around Evergreen.
Yep.
Cool. Well, with that, I just want to check in on the time. How are you all looking?
I have about an hour and a half still available.
Okay, so not enough for a mission, but we have enough to print your mechs.
Yeah.
Cool, and possibly meet Chief Fielding if you guys are down.
I'm done.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So you all leave the governor's farm. I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on the interaction with Adina and Patience?
They're 2 commas. Fuck.
Higher opinion of Adina than I expected to have from her picture.
Yeah, Adina seems
Lord.
like a good person put in a bit of a shit job.
I wouldn't go that far. She still works for Shimada.
I think Athena is a genuine person, which makes her a gullible person. Because I feel like she's probably from what you said and the fact that like you weren't you said that you could like we could tell even without having to roll that she earnestly believed in like bettering Evergreen and even the Gray settlements. I think that she is probably the good cop of the equation and Patience is the bad
absolutely.
Interesting. Interesting. I'm not going to correct that,
Don't
but
trust
okay.
Patience at all, though. Patience is absolutely gonna do some awful things, or has done many awful things.
Yeah, it really sounds like
Patience is objective. He is raw objective. And I don't think we can. While he's, I don't know, he's a bit of a mystery to me because, first of all, he thinks of these things as less than sentient, less than understandable, and yet has the want to send a message, which implies that he expects they have some level of intelligence.
Also, the whole if they were like ants, how are they organized, and how do they have fucking snipers?
Also,
yeah,
you don't
I've never seen an ant sniper.
you don't send psychological warfare to deal with ants.
Yeah.
So I
also,
feel
why
like there's something
would
personal here.
pirates- There's also like that level of like, oh yeah, they're nothing but pirates. Okay, what do? They destroy everything and take nothing. Yeah, I've heard of pirates literally stealing nothing and just raising everything. That sounds like a pirate. Yeah.
Yarg.
Yar har fiddle me dee. I don't want the loot. I don't want the loot. Throw it at the bottom of the sea.
God.
Interesting. Well, so you all leave the governor's farm. Your impressions of Edina and Patience and your employers well rooted in your hearts and minds. You all have access to Evergreen Schedule 2 printer. It is a busy printer. It is the only printer, large printer on Evergreen. And but you guys have priority to print off your fancy, nasty mechs. Nasimbo is still at the bottom of the well, presumably plotting how to take out the sniper by herself or with you all, because she doesn't know what's going on right now. But you all have free reign to print out your mechs, describe them, or put them together, or however you want to go about it. And also meet Chief Fielding.
Yep.
Yeah. He will head there immediately.
Yeah.
He's now played with the sim version. He wants to see the real thing.
Yeah, Gear wants their mech because there are snipers about and doesn't fancy getting shot in the head if they go out again.
I am gonna set my mech in queue because you said it's only like one printer, so I'm gonna just set it to be at the end of the queue of the rest of my party. But I'm actually gonna go and see about the SIBO.
Cool. So you set your mech in queue with the correct specifications. I'm just curious, did you choose? Are you equipping a Infocane LL1 system?
Yes, or L1 weapon, which is the chaff missiles.
Okay, chaff missiles. Okay, cool. You get a message from Chief Fielding, and it reads out in a loud and gregarious kind of manner. He says, "Hi, you. Your name is Quitapi. What's this you got printed in my printer? What? Chaff missiles? Where's this come from? I feel like I'm talking to myself right now. Well, I'll have it printed out, but make sure you stop by. I don't think I've ever installed these on a mech before. Chief Fielding out."
Chief Fielding is an Aussie from the Appalachians, I guess.
Chief Fieldings is the one character from Half-Life Alyx. Guy just
Say,
talks to me the
no
entire
one
time.
knows where
He's
Chief
gonna be-
Fielding's accent
he's gonna
comes
be
from.
The answer is everywhere.
Well, my mom was from the Appalachians, and
But
my
my
dad's
dad was from
Australian.
Australia, and my grandpa, he was from Britain.
And
No,
my
you see,
aunt,
he actually grew
she's
up in New Zealand,
Vietnamese.
and
Oh my god!
But when I was
apologize.
3, we moved over to Quebec.
I apologize for my
no,
hackneyed
no, dude, we
No, I
just
love
said
it.
that.
like
That's
That's a
awesome.
great accent. I love it.
Yeah. So that is Kutepi. What about the rest of you?
Yeah, he's submitting his thing, and mine has installed the bend the knee protocol.
Interesting. Nice. What about the other two?
Mine's got the reactionary reposition thrusters installed.
Can we install both of them?
No, you only get one choice.
Okay.
So you get one license choice, but if it has 2 items, you can pop it on. It's just the license. You only get one.
Right, so I get 1 license, but that means
Oh,
I
no.
can take 2
Yeah.
chaff missiles, right?
No. So you get one access to one like weapon or system. You don't get both systems from the whatever.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, it's just the
Yeah.
easiest way to go about that is giving yourself the license point.
Yeah. And you can install 2 chaff missiles if you want to.
Okay, just making sure.
No,
Yep.
you only get one chaff.
So,
One, you can only chaff once.
for
Everything else must be unchaffed.
to put it in terms that my brain understands, basically we have half a license.
Yes, correct. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Too easy.
I think Kaiser's got to get things going.
All right.
Very dramatic.
Nice. As the 3 of you send in the rest of your requests, you all get the same message from Chief Fielding, and he says, "What the fuck? Many of them? I count 3. I can't pronounce half these goddamn words. Oh shit! Y'all gonna bust the printers? Am I talking to myself again? Shit. Well, when you get here, whatever your names are, I can't pronounce them. Get over here. We gotta talk how you install these. I need some help. Chief Fielding out."
Just
I really
send
like
him
the
back
idea
a
that
message.
Chief-
It's called bend the knee. And
Yeah, I really
it's
like
a-
the idea that
it's
Chief
software.
can't pronounce Caesar or Kaiser. He's like, what is this?
Caesar.
Yes, car.
Chief Fielding is a very competent engineer. Just has a hard time with words.
What
He
is-
will actually send a message back to him, just saying, "Dear, you're sending a voice message."
At this point, we've opened up a group chat.
You get a direct message from Chief Fielding and says, I'll just read it out. It says, "My apologies. I am sorry for that. I don't mean to ramble. This is very interesting, this new system. Please, I would like to be enlightened how to actually install it."
Bless his heart. Bless him.
He's a good man.
Nice. So I think, Kutepi, you are headed to talk to Nosimbo. What about the rest of you 3?
I'll be going to the engineer.
I'm actually
Okay.
gonna try and what's the word? Intercept gear.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And Joseph?
I think Joseph's just gonna work on the mech. So
Cool.
Mech.
Cool.
doesn't
So I-
really want anyone to touch it.
nice. So you'll follow Gear and Kanya to the Schedule 2 printer, which is conveniently located in the governor's farm. Let's dip over to Kutepi and Nosimbo. Kutepi, you want to start this off?
Sure. I kind of meet up to where Nasimba was headed, and I'm trying to see if she's more or less preparing herself with to try to track down this sniper. Kind of like doing the walk into door, knock on the side of the door as I peek in the room.
Got you. Yeah, you walk up to the 3rd level of the bottom of the well. It doesn't have an elevator, so it's some prefabbed plastic steel stairs Leading up to the top, your approach is well announced by the echo and the stairs. You probably see a couple other folks stumbling out of their rooms. The door to Nosimbo's room is completely open. She dares try anyone who would surprise her. You walk in and you see Nosimbo's Ishilangu, her shield, her Ikuwa, her short spear, laid out on the bed. Her ceremonial Ikuwa, the black one, is hoisted above her bed. And she is staring out of the window as the drizzle kind of continues to pour. And as you approach, she turns around and says, "Ah, Quitepi, tell me, how was your meeting with Patience and I believe the other one, the silent one?"
I sorry. Athena, I believe.
Yes.
It was enlightening. And he kind of invites himself in. So, you are committed to tracking down this sniper, yes?
Do believe it is probably the best course of action. You see, in my past, I'm sure you're well aware of my past, I have single handedly taken down many foe by myself, and I seek to do the same here, even without your support. This sniper will continue to be a plague upon Evergreen's colony. You see, what happens when those who surprise and get the drop and ambush those who are ambushed, they are emboldened by their actions, and they will continue like a pestilence. It is our duty to solve this problem. Stamp out this sniper's dreams, aspirations, and make them submit as Shaka would.
He turns around and leaves
I
again.
was so scared from December's last mention.
Yeah, apologies. I happened to fall out the call.
You're good.
Katepi kind of looks around and he says, "It is not that you do not have my support, but..." And he sighs, and he pulls out his Ukuwa once more, and he says, "Back home, those who do not know me think that I am sacrilege, but they do not realize the function of my blade." And then he holds up his Inshilangu, his shield, and he says, "There is value in things not looking as they are, as they might be expected to be." And as he kind of hits his Ikuwa on his Inshilangu, the shield pops off his arm and begins flying, revealing that it is not a shield at all, but instead a drone.
Ooh, nice.
Hell yeah.
And he says, "What I am trying to say, Nasimbo, is that you think that I have given, you think that I have given up on the sniper, but in reality, I am only feigning ignorance. An enemy who still thinks you are weak will blindly walk into any trap you set for him."
Nasibo puts on a very wide grin. Go ahead.
Kind of annoyingly, Q says the thing that probably anyone who has been in the Impy Order long enough with him has heard him say over and over again. Which is more deadly? And I imagine Nasimbo kind of like stops him there, like, "We get it."
Yeah.
That's the episode title: the Rhino or the Jaguar.
that totally happens. Nosimbo smirks at you and says, "I see the left horn. The new recruits, those who are raised under Shaka's gaze, are quite more resourceful than I would anticipate. I will gladly take this offer you are so clearly offering to track down the sniper with your armaments that you have at your disposal. And hopefully, we can correct these transgressions that assault Evergreen here."
if it is focused on us while we attempt to reopen the colony to outside resources, then I'm sure that you can get the drop on it. It'd be wise to take this opportunity for for it to lead us to where the rest of its kind are. Then we can take them out in one fell swoop.
I would agree with that. Kutepi, you are excellent left horn. You honor Shaka and all of Mephakin by extension.
Kutepi just kind of gives his thanks and nods as he outstretches his arm and lets the drone kind of land back on it and resecure itself. And he bows and he says, "I will take my leave for now. There are other matters to attend to before our mission on the morrow."
Nasimba will nod and will wish you well and end with the praise Shaka.
Praise Shaka.
Yeah, they'll pause with you, and then you three. You all approach.
Who was trying to intercept me.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead.
Kanye.
Gears. Okay. I understand the hostility. Trust me, I do. But
You good?
just has that chuckle and just like looks like, yeah, really? I understand the need for conflict and outing somebody's motivations, but that level of hostility is just going to make us enemies. We need them to at least act like our friends for a little while.
I understand your concerns. However, I feel like there's a lot more going on with this planet than Patience wants us to believe. He wants us to believe
absolutely. He's a lying
it's just
sack of shit.
run off and shoot some pirates. Pirates that burn down buildings and take nothing. I am a bit concerned that these savage lack of civilization is actually a crime from a while ago that's being hidden.
Look, I know about the Hassenia crisis. I have an understanding of what happened here. I found history textbooks online. I did my research on the way here. Just what little there is. But again, yes. Pirate. That's a bullshit term. Yes, they're not pirates. They're one thing, they're guerrilla fighters, which levels more intelligence than he gives them credence. But he gives them enough credence to want to sow fear in them, which means this is personal in some way. And I don't want to deal with things that make an NHP get personal.
You can always just, if it gets a bit angry, we can always casket it. But, you know, that's
You mean
drastic.
cycle it?
I mean, yes, or just blow up the casket. I'm not.
Oh. Again, we also have Union to think about.
Yes.
One way or the other.
Where I'm coming from, because this is definitely a second command, an HP, and it doesn't seem to have the best interests of anything except humanity on its mind, which is not exactly what Union likes. And I think that if Union saw Mufkane and Zulu working with a second com Anthrashov, it might not go down so well.
Again, there's a lot to unpack there. But
I ask how much of this conversation I hear?
You're with
you're way,
Simba.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're way Simba, yeah.
All right, just making sure.
Well,
I mean,
we-
Joseph would be around, sort of.
Yeah, if Legion has
I
anything
feel
to
like
say,
Joseph
it
wouldn't
doesn't
really
sound
give
like we're
too
being.
much of a damn.
Yeah, if
He would
Joseph has
be
anything to say, it doesn't sound like we're being particularly quiet about this. It's, look,
I think the vibe that you get off of Joseph is either he doesn't care or he thinks you're it's just the quirk of an NHP. Like he doesn't give it too much credence to like the heaviness of the situation. He acts pretty much as if he was being told to do any other regular mission.
Yeah.
But
All right, Kanya, I
I'm-
will go slightly easier on them, but I will still challenge things. I'm not just
That's
going to take it
fine.
lying down, so to speak.
That's fine. Just personal attacks do nothing but make people angry. Right now, we are in a situation where we do not have enough information. Let's do some digging. Apparently, I'm supposed to discuss Inficane technological diversity. Oh, God. I didn't want to do data.
Yes.
Swipes that away.
Well,
Know
we should
thy
probably
enemy.
help the engineer.
Know thy enemy before you start stabbing him. Yeah, we'll help. We'll continue walking with her.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say as you all approach Chief Fielding's complex that houses the size 2 printer, you are greeted by his definitely hackneyed accent in a kind of joyous and somewhat ashamed greeting, as he knows he was now on recording to himself, talking to himself when he sent you messages. He waves you over and escorts you into the complex, and we will cut there and pick up again where you guys are actually putting off your mechs and you embark on the first mission.
Cool.
Sounds
Nice.
good.
Nice. Good job, you guys. That was really good. That was a lot of good RP.
Let's say goodbye to the recording, everybody.
All right, bye, recording.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.